So campers, we've been walking for a few hours now on the beach, just on low tide, almost 1:30. Remember we mentioned in a previous video, if you're doing these coastal hikes, it's a really good idea to be aware of what time the tide goes out. There's no internet here, so I've just screenshotted the tide times off the internet, so I've got a copy of that in the photos on my iPhone. Look forward to showing you the first campsite. Morning campers, first campsite, the morning of day 2. A few items of driftwood and items that have drifted up on the beach that we're using. That's an old fishing net we're using as a little sitting bench. There's the Hillyberg tent. See? It's Christina. Just waking up. Bit of water boiling for tea. We've dragged a few rocks inside the vestibule just to place our cooking utensils. Look at that massive vestibule, man, on the Hillyberg tent. So, one real new thing we're now using for big long hikes like this one, this will be an 8-day hike if we make it, is heaps of freeze-dried food. We'll open it up later on and show you. There's freeze-dried blood oranges, freeze-dried peaches and apples, freeze-dried cauliflower, freeze-dried broccoli, potatoes, onions, and even over here, would you believe it now, freeze-dried whole strawberries and mangoes. Each one of these bags, this massive bag here, only weighs like 200 grams, but it's actually 2 kilos of fruit before it was freeze-dried. So freeze-dried vegetables and fruit, 1 kilo packs down to only 100 grams. We've even got freeze-dried beef and chicken in there. And I think meat freeze-dries down to about 1/4 of its original weight. So 1 kilo is down to 250 grams. So we're saving a massive amount of weight on our backpacks. Yesterday we started this hike and our backpacks were only about 16 kilos each on average. There's all those gear items drying out. It's pretty cold down here on the very southern tip of Tasmania. Every bit of sunlight is precious, man, to dry your gear. Sleeping bag got a bit of moisture on it from the condensation. Good old Gore-Tex dries real quick though. We had a couple of river crossings yesterday, so the shoes, the hiking shoes, are totally saturated. Always leave your shoes tied up, man, or hang up. Never leave them on the ground at night when you go to sleep. And there have been incidents of animals running off with people's shoes. And on the ground here, I'm wearing my flip-flops, extremely lightweight, just budget flip-flops, real cheap and lightweight. So we're going to pack on out of here, and we look forward to showing you the next campsite. There's going to be a few. Freshwater Creek campers coming from just over there. That's where we were getting our drinking water, just about 30 metres upstream. Hey campers, first major creek crossing. The water's nice and low. We've been really lucky, very, very lucky. There's been very little rainfall in the last few days. So we're just below knee height here. There is a warning sign on the other side of the river. Do not cross if the water is waist deep, something like that. See the colour of this water? It's all brown. It's filled with tannin. So the Sawyer Mini actually filters out all that filthy brown. The water comes out nice and clean that we're drinking. Another river crossing coming up soon. Quick lunch break here, campers. Just show you what some of these freeze-dried fruits look like. Look at that. Actually looks like a real strawberry. So I'm just rehydrating there in water. Here's the whole bag. Look at that, mango and strawberries mixed up. So you've basically got probably 1.5 kilos of fruit there, but only weighs 150 grams. Unbelievable. See?
It's crunchy.
You like the strawberry?
Mm.
Show us.
It's like a chips.
Yeah, it's all crunchy because you haven't rehydrated it. Swing around, have a look at the picnic ground. We're having this quick lunch break in the shade.
Maybe we eat this.
There's a muesli biscuit food.
Yeah.
Just arrived at the big river crossing, campers. There she is, nice and shallow, just the way we wanted it. After a big storm, the water can be a raging torrent and over 1 metre deep. Like, worst case scenario, the water could even be up to the height of the rope, I think. Definitely can become unpassable. Conveniently, there's a campsite on each side of the river. So if someone arrives here after a big storm, they literally have to camp on one side and just wait for the water level to drop before they can actually cross. The best advice is, if you arrive here and the water's low, cross as quick as possible, because if you camp on the opposite side, you wake up the next morning, you might be stuck. That rope is very helpful. Looks like a piece of rock climbing rope, and the government have even gone to the trouble of putting a tree-friendly sling around the tree, so the tree doesn't get damaged by the rope. That was nice and easy. Louisa River. Campsite number 2, the morning of day 3, campers. Just a quick tour around it. Hillyberg's completely dry. It was very warm last night. I washed my clothes in the river and everything is completely dry just from the wind and the heat of the night. Wanted to show you the blood red oranges here, man. So that's what they look like before they're rehydrated. So that tiny little piece there probably weighs like less than 0.5 gram. Once it rehydrates, it will then weigh 10 times more. Look at that, man. Amazing. Using MSR gas on this tour. Wouldn't normally use that brand, but because we flew in here, you're not allowed to carry gas. We actually had to buy gas at the runway once we landed. Today's the big day, campers. We're crossing the Ironbound Mountain just over here.
Moving slow, it's like a snail. Iron bound truck.
Coming down the mountain. It's been boggy like this for the last 2.5 hours. Definitely one of the toughest days of hiking we've ever had. But the campsite's up ahead, and then the beach, nice flat hiking.
It's like a desert.
Good morning, campers. We've had the camera off for a couple of days now while we were resting at one of the campsites back there. This morning's adventure is crossing that lagoon. There's boats on both sides, so you do a boat shuffle. There's 3 boats in total. You've got to make sure there's always 1 boat on each side, so if you cross over and 3 boats are on that side, you have to drag 2 boats back, tie up the first boat, and then the second boat across. So that way there's a boat on each side. So the next person will cross over. If you're really lucky, there's 2 boats here when you arrive. Looks like there's only 1 boat here. Just on the other side is 2 boats, so we'll have to drag one back across. We'll have to paddle over and back, over and back, over. Decent quality boat, aluminium. See? Probably 200 meters across. Here's the anchor to drag the other boat across. I've just put the rope through the shoulder straps of the backpack. Worst case scenario looked after.
It's very hard out, isn't it? My God. Hey.
Get in, get in.
Yes, of course, you're still filming. Go on. Help me! Stop doing that! What are you doing? Bye-bye! Go! In! Go in! Bye-bye! That is very hard work, man.
Day 6 campers. Osmeridium Beach is the name of this campsite. And this morning for breakfast, got my muesli. We've got freeze-dried apples, peaches, and strawberries. Look at that, man. There's the apple, there's the peach. That soy mini that we've now been using for the last year, we've taken on dozens of hikes. It's pretty slow, man. Yesterday I had to forcefully flush it with hot water, well, hot water as well, through the syringe. There's the spare soy mini hanging up. You like the freeze-dried fruit, sweetie? It's good, yeah?
Strawberry, apple, and what is this? Pears? Is this pears?
Peach.
Peach? Oh yeah, peach.
But you don't hydrate yours, you just eat it dry.
That's
I mean-
good, isn't it? It's like chips,
Crunchy.
crunchy. The socks.
Drying the tent, sweetie, yeah? Or cleaning it?
It's wet. Well, if it's not drying, inside of the tent is wet, getting wet.
Because this is such a long hike, we've also been washing our clothes every couple of days inside the orange bucket. We've even got some detergent here, biodegradable ultra concentrate detergent, keeping our clothes fresh. Sometimes it's a bit slow to dry them though, but during the day you actually hike with your clothes hanging off your backpack and it dries in the sun as you're walking. I'll look for a creek. This is where we'll stop for lunch, campers. Some nice drinking water just there. You can see the buoys just up there. That's where the campsite is, over that cliff. It's important to work out the safe route. By the way, high tide is in 1 hour. I wouldn't want to be crossing this beach at high tide. Only a narrow gap to get through between the water and the cliff edge. Up early this morning, campers. Finished our breakfast, already packed up our bags. Just left the tent standing so you could see this latest campsite. And one piece of gear that's been really useful on this hike is the Explorer InReach. This is one of the older models, so it's satellite communicator. Absolutely no signal out here, but I've been using this to get very reliable weather forecasts. Just opening that up here to show you. Hopefully the GoPro's picking that up nice and clear. You can see on the right hand side it tells me there's only a 10% chance of rain. It's during the day. If I scroll down, you can see here at 21 o'clock, so that's 9 PM tonight, 60% chance of rain. And opening up here, precipitation 0.4 centimetres, so 4 mil of rain coming tonight. That's one reason we've packed up so early, just so we can get to the next campsite and set everything up well and truly before the rain. Nice and windy spot here. The beach is down that way. Quickly, quickly. Hey campers, another big river crossing. We've literally just had to wait in between waves before we decide to cross this. She's coming, she's coming. Move it, move it. Oh fuck!
I'm out of way! Keep going,
Just at the end there, campers, we literally had to just stop walking and just dig our feet in. You did good, sweetie. No trekking pole, yeah? You did it, sweetie.
Yes, let's go.
Well done.
The campsite is there.
Good morning, campers. It's day 8. This is the 6th campsite. We were absolutely bombarded by rain last night. It was bucketing down. Thanks to the InReach Explorer, we saw that storm coming from a mile away. All the equipment is inside, backpack, everything. And that creek you saw us crossing yesterday, we went upstream a bit to collect water, and because of the backflush of the high tide coming in, we're literally drinking like 10% seawater. The other 90% is just this tannin-riddled Tasmanian button grass. Just gross water, mate. It's really not very good water at all. So what we've done, we've made the most of the rain. We're collecting rainwater in those cups over there. So we've managed to collect maybe almost two litres of rainwater. That's what we're drinking this morning to get ready for the final march out of here, man. The end of this hike. Sweetie, how do you feel?
I want to go home.
You want to go home? You had enough?
Yes.
That canvas just started hailing.